Hello, my dear friend, I wish you wisdom. My name is Nicole, and I welcome you to my first full class, which is called Self Mastery: How to Create Your Reality. The purpose of this class is to give you knowledge, but also practical tools which you can use starting from today. I want to offer you a free class right here, right now, and to invite you to take a leap and change your life today. This class is divided in 8 lessons. We will start first with an introduction, then we will proceed to the lessons. Now, in the beginning of this class, it's required from you to start to have a journal. What I'm asking you is to try to detach from any situation that you experience and to write down in that journal objectively what happens to you during the day, the feelings that you have, and also try day by day to write down things or phrases that you feel they appear in your mind out of nowhere. Or if you notice signs in your reality, such as numbers, different interesting quotes that appear on billboards, or any unusual phenomena that you encounter, please write it down. This journal will be a tool for you to see that you progress. Introduction. Before we get into the lessons, I want to give you an introduction. Since ancient times, the priests or ancient mages knew about the capacity that the human being has, but this information was kept away from the average man. Nowadays, we face more and more motivational speakers or coaches that teach people about the law of attraction, laws of the universe. You hear even about incantations. Look at Anthony Robbins when he speaks about incantations, which is a thing done by ceremonial magicians and witches. But all these are packaged now in a way that sounds okay, has more swag, but is the same thing. In old books about magic were presented many concepts that are related with the law of attraction. It's not something new. People called the power of the mind mentation, or many other names. In some books, you will see how people, by building up anger inside them, then by applying trauma on a certain part of the head, they were able to contact, for example, a spirit of abundance. People speak about positive affirmations today, but in all times you had mantras and incantations. People today talk about sex transmutation, but we have sex magic, and it's the same thing. Motivational speakers in today's age talk about building up the feeling of abundance at all times to be able to attract riches, to be in that frequency. The problem here is this. If you take a man from the streets and you tell him, with your mind and your feelings, you build up your reality. And because of the way you think and feel, you attract poverty in your life. Think and build up the feeling of abundance and you'll be rich. Well, you see, that man from the street will not be able to understand you and will not be able to understand how to build up the feeling of abundance because he never experienced it. And he's in the same boat with the people who watch this kind of motivational or law of attraction material. Understanding comes only from experience. You cannot understand manifestation when you actually didn't manifest in a conscious way something. And yes, thoughts and feelings will attract that which you desire. You see, in magic, we have the table of correspondences in which you have listed a certain power or spirit and its associations. Okay, so you have listed plants, perfumes that you have to use, and so forth in order to be able to contact a certain power. Okay, so you need some tools, and people use these tools because they will put you in a specific vibration for being able to contact the power that you want. All the things that are done in a ritual are for the sake of putting yourself in a certain vibration. It can be a low vibration or a very high vibration. It's the same thing with trying to build up the feeling of abundance. If you didn't experience that state of mind before, you must gather material correspondences to build up your state of being. Okay, so let's move on. In the occult, we learn something like this. We have this material plane, which is our planet Earth. There are other planes that are like a mirror to this plane, but in all planes of existence, we have a divine substance that is everywhere and in every single little thing, something supreme that cannot be explained in words. People tried over the ages to explain this, but I believe that we, at our current human capacity, we cannot explain it in words. We will understand it only by experience. And I personally prefer to call this substance, which is everywhere, the infinite intelligence. But what we all must understand is that every single object that is in this world, in this physical plane, exists and is mirrored in another plane, maybe under a different form. So you can say that in order to make things possible in the material plane, things must exist first in the spirit plane. And because it's like a mirror, that object from the spirit plane will be mirrored down here, as above, so below. Now, we as human beings, we have this body, which is the most powerful technology that this earth has. And we, our true self, exists also on another plane of existence under a different form. People call this the higher self. We always and always are linked to this other part of ourselves. We also have two minds, which we can have a certain control over. Let's stick to this concept because it's much easier to grasp, in my opinion. For sure, things are more complicated than this, but I want you to understand first, on a small basic scale, the concept. And then, if you are interested, you can search further and deeper on your own. I am sure that you have heard about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is yourself, the things that you identify with, thoughts, the ego, intellect, etc. It is a field that you can have total control over, because if you focus, you are able to eliminate thoughts, for example, or to think of a certain object of your choice if that is your wish. The conscious mind communicates with words. For example, if you look right now at an apple, in your mind will pop up the phrase, the words, "it's an apple." You can almost hear these words in your head. So the conscious mind can be directed and manipulated mostly with the power of words. This type of mind, the conscious mind, it's like a chatty friend, likes to chat a lot. Now, what you must understand is that this intellect is put down by many people because it likes to break down things. It's like a critic. There is nothing wrong with that. It's actually a great tool, but only when you control it. When you don't allow to be controlled by it. Okay, on the other side, you have the subconscious mind. Your body operates based on subconscious functions. If you drink a glass of water, this intelligence in you will make that water part of your body. Now, the subconscious mostly communicates with you in feelings and images. If I say to you right now, imagine a cat, you will almost instantly have in front of you the image of a cat. But if your cat died last week, attached to that image will be the feeling of loss. Okay? Good. So let's repeat this basic model for a better understanding. Consciousness speaks to you in words, and the subconscious mostly in feelings and images. This is not something new. You will find these things everywhere. Now, words can create a state of being, and the words combined with images and feelings can create a whole movie inside your mind. So we as human beings, we are like a chain. If someone comes to you right now and they will say to you, "You are the most amazing person that I ever met," the words will create a state of being. They are generators, and these words will make you feel good. Then this good feeling will put a smile on your face, right? Then because of your state of being, now the actions that you'll take in the physical plane will be in accordance with your state of being. And maybe you walk by someone and you give them a compliment. So it's a chain reaction. Lesson 1. There is only one force. When we come to this plane of existence and we try to gravitate towards magical knowledge, we will learn first that everything is dual in nature. Now, what we learn as we progress is the fact that we must go beyond duality, beyond polarity. We must understand one thing. There is only one force, the Lord force. The Lord actually means law. Now, this force is made of perfection, and it only knows completion. The human is designed in such a way that it permits duality, and any human is able to create two forces in his mind. The one force is the force of good, and the false force is the so-called evil. People that have anxiety, worry, doubt, they usually experience that because they believe there are two forces. Understand one thing: when you worry, you have panic attacks, or you want to take control over a situation, these are facets of fear. Being in the flow of the infinite intelligence doesn't mean to ignore problems, because you come here as a God, as a co-creator for this reality, but you also face the reality created by other people, including their problems. So you must acknowledge that. And the game of life is a game of constant correction. You must acknowledge at any moment that there is only one force, the force of good, abundance, health, and love. The moment you worry, you create two forces. You believe in two forces. You start to think that there is power in evil. Yes, there are demons. Yes, there is power in evil, because was fed by the humankind for centuries. But this kind of power can be destroyed in a matter of seconds. And this is working like a coin. You view two facets of the coin. One is white and one is black. You must understand that the coin is just a piece of metal that you use for exchange. Money are just a piece of paper that you use for exchange. Is just one force. Every mage out there understands that the supreme law is this: what you sow, you will reap, sooner or later. You cannot escape this law, especially in this plane of existence. Now, let's talk about some practical tools. Exercise 1. Incorporate in your daily life 10 minutes of meditation. Dedicate 10 minutes to quiet the mind. Do this for at least 1 week, and then try to expand the time for meditation. Exercise number 2. Start to practice awareness on a daily basis and bring yourself into the present moment. The past and future are just names. They do not exist in the now. You'll see that at first your ego will try to throw your way many nasty thoughts, such as, quit this, it doesn't work, this is stupid, this is useless, why should I bother with this? Realize one thing: the voice of intuition is soft, is like a whisper, is loving. On the other side, you have the voice of ego, which always sounds louder and angry. You must face these thoughts without mercy and say to these thoughts, succumb, my triumph is inevitable. Behold, fear, you are returning into the dust of nothingness. I am under grace. not under law. Always and always, when you notice nasty thoughts, try to incorporate an affirmation. Lesson 2. To know, to dare, to will, and to keep silent. In the magic field, we have the most common known and beautiful statement. To know, to dare, to will, and to keep silent. I think that it's really essential for us to understand these statements when we work with the magic of the mind. What means to know? Maybe you have heard this quote, "Knowledge is power." This is a true statement, but knowledge becomes power only when you know what to do with the information that you have. And the most basic example that I can give you are teachers from the education field. In my country, for example, many teachers are poor, unfortunately. They have the knowledge, but in their case is far from being a source of power. You can read all the books in the world. If you don't know how to use that knowledge in order to create things, you cannot expect much to happen or to see improvements. To know requires from your part to ask questions such as, who I am, how can I know myself, what can I do to bring value. If you want to become financially wealthy, you must become valuable. And you become that only when you really know who you are and what you are good at. Drop the stupid things that other people told you to become. Look in your childhood. For example, I was always fascinated by magic and art. And I was about to go to study at an art school, but I was influenced by the following question. What do you want to become? A poor artist? And because of that, because I feared that I will become that, I followed what other people followed. Now I'm trying to revive the things that I always loved. What I suggest you to do is to retreat in a quiet spot alone. Can be a park or room, it doesn't matter. And to have an actual date with yourself. Look deep in the childhood that you had and see what you really enjoyed to do and analyze it. Start to know, because that is your unique gift. And you'll see if you really drop the identifications that you got mostly from your environment or other people, you'll see that the things that you loved from your childhood, they were with you always, but they evolved or you tried to bury them. Start to know, and you know when you become eager to seek and you are willing to reach that point of knowing yourself. But to know yourself, you really must analyze every piece of yourself. Ask yourself the following questions and try to really answer them sincerely. What do I really enjoy doing for fun and why? What am I really good at? Why do I think that? What do I like the most in this world? Why? What I don't like in this world? Why? Who are the people who I view as role models? Why? What thing that I've done in the past made me so proud and happy? Why is that? What did I love to do as a child? Who do I hate the most in this world? Why? For whom I have love? For what people come to me? How do I feel about my body image? What do I want to become? Who is the person who I want to become? What advice would I give to myself? Your list of questions can be larger, but really try to analyze yourself and write down the answers and analyze them. People, including myself, at first when I started to actually analyze myself objectively and to break my life into pieces, in writing about it objectively, I became angry. But as I forced myself to look, I started to understand that I can actually control my piece of life. I cannot control the outside, but I can control the inside, and only then the outside will change as well. To dare. This stands for courage. I see so many people with dreams, but they don't have the courage to do it. People want certainty, want stability. Let me tell you a certain and stable thing. You will die one day. People ask for things such as stability. Why to ask for something that is a fixed point? Something stable is the paycheck that you get from your job. So you must really investigate what words you use, the root of the words, because people are asking in most cases for things that they already have. For example, I see many girls who ask for stable relationships. Why? I mean, they are in a stable relationship that doesn't move anywhere. They don't get married because they are asking for something that is fixed, is a fixed point, doesn't have any motion, any movement. So that's the relationship. Pay attention, really pay attention to what words you use. Because the subconscious mind, or the Lord, the God, doesn't know any jokes about jokes. The law knows only completion. Here is another example. I have this coworker at my job, a wonderful, talented girl. She wanted to share her passion for DIYs, and she came with courage at work with the things that she does. And people started to buy her things. Then she started to perfect the things that she creates. Now, because she had the courage to share her things, now she sells her things on Facebook and on town markets. To dare, this is a call for action. To dare means to be able to actually face the parts of yourself that you don't like, to break habits, and to face the problems. People gravitate towards the positive thinking community, and it's a way for them to actually ignore the problems. And I did that as well. I had a problem with some relatives, and I always used positive affirmations thinking that this will fix the problem. No, this will not fix anything. You must take a cold look at the situation and decide right then and there if there is a chance for that relationship. If you truly feel that the answer is no, then it's time to tell those persons with courage that it's time to let go and to go on separate ways and to stick to that decision. If you truly want to bring your dream to life, stop wishing and start to investigate what are the first steps that you need to take in order to go in that direction. And if fear comes along the way, then you use positive affirmations. To will. What I've observed along the way, especially with people who approach magic and the power of thoughts, I feel that people don't quite understand what will is. I received many questions such as, okay, but where is the will in all of this? If you ask that type of question, is a clear sign that you didn't investigate what the actual will word means and where it comes from. Will is persistence. Will is discipline. When you are on a path and you want to go from A to B, although obstacles may come your way, by the power of your will, you can jump over these obstacles. With persistence and discipline, you win. When people say to you, you must develop will, the meaning is this: you must develop focus, discipline, persistence. Will is the one point of concentration. Also, if you don't understand the word, for example, try to look for the synonyms of that word. And the synonyms of will are decision, determination, discipline, mind, passion, power, aim, conviction, self-discipline, urge. Okay? How do you build up this determination or will? Well, you do things in repetition. Let's say that you set as a goal to meditate at a certain hour. Well, when that hour comes, you drop everything, any friend, mom, dad, and you say to them, look, I need my space now. And you actually start to meditate. So you shift your focus entirely on what you want to do or to achieve without excuses. For example, I have my daily ritual of meditation and so forth. And when I feel a certain laziness, I snap myself from that situation. And I usually say something like this: you do it or you die. What do you choose? Another example that I will give you here is this. I work at my job sometimes for 12 hours per day. And I always complained that I don't have enough time to dedicate to my passion, to create art and to create videos. And to snap myself from that situation, from that feeling that I don't have enough time, I repeated to myself day by day, do it or you die. You must understand that when you want something to actually create, you don't treat yourself with mercy. Severity must come in place in order to create self self-discipline. To keep silent. I see this everywhere in my life. People talk and talk about the things that they want to do in the future. And at the end of the day, they just wasted their energy on words and not on facts. To keep silent means to retreat in silence. I don't care where you live, what you do. You must have a space for prayer. Every day you must develop a relationship with your inner self. And you can only do that in silence and in stillness. To be quiet is simple in nature. You just have to drop everything when you meditate. Thoughts, impressions, and to eliminate them all. You don't even need to do the breathing exercises. You just sit quietly and listen. And when thoughts appear, you let them go. You don't engage in them. Now, at first, by doing just this, you'll feel at first like you'll suffocate, but you'll feel that because the mind will try to resist. Now, in meditation, there are certain levels, but try to sit in this stillness till you reach a point of peace and calmness. And in this stillness, you can ask questions and you'll receive an answer. But I will talk about this more in the future. When you do stuff around your home, try to eliminate all the thoughts and to actually focus on what you are doing in the present moment. If you drink a glass of juice, don't think of the past or future. Just pay attention to the glass of juice and be happy that you have the possibility to drink it. By emptying the mind and by focusing on what you do in the present moment, this is grounding. This is becoming engaged fully in the present. This is awareness. And only when you are really aware of this present moment, you will be able to understand manifestation. Lesson 3. Create a vision with what you want in life and analyze where you are at. People usually set as goals things such as, I want to become a billionaire. But they set that goal having in their mind the following belief. A Prada outfit costs a lot of money. I see this mentality whenever I go to buy my groceries. People are sitting near the products and they are talking slowly with the products and they say something like this. Oh, this is too expensive. What? This much money for that? Oh, it's not possible. This is a fraud. Understand one thing. What you believe creates, because belief actually it's something that you put your total faith in. In magic, for example, in order to create something, you must focus on a single point. And that's why people use candles in spells, because the flame of the candle allows them to have a single point of concentration. That's a tool. You must direct your attention and focus towards only the things that you want. And because, for example, people are stuck in their old belief systems, they trust in that belief. They trust in the fact that they will always be poor. They focus on that single point of concentration. There goes their energy and faith. And let's analyze a bit the word believe. The word believe is composed of be plus live. So a raw translation will be this: who you are, you live. So those people will not afford anytime soon those products because those products in their mind are out of their reach. These people view themselves weak, poor, therefore they are poor. These people act poor and from a place of lack, therefore they live in lack. Now, this doesn't mean it's their fault. They are victims of victims, but we must exit that victim mentality. Now back to our vision. You must identify what is the first need that you have in your life. Okay, on long term, you want to become a millionaire, but what do you need right now? Let's take the following example. Let's say that you need a house. So we identified what you want. Let's look at where you are at in the now moment. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you live in a friend's house which is small and you are sleeping on a couch. So you've identified what you want, which is a house, and where you are at. Now, because you don't have that strong belief that you can achieve quickly the home, you cannot jump in an instant to the home of your dreams. And because of that, you must break down the whole situation into small slices that you'll want to manifest. So in order to jump to the home, you need more money. And what do you need to gain more money? Maybe a job, maybe another stream of income. Now, after you identified what is your first need, write what you want down. Before you write down the actual desire, ask yourself sincerely, is this what you really want, or is something or an idea that you got from somebody else? Is this the thing that you really need in your life? I want you to ask yourself these questions because it's important to identify the intention that lies behind the desire that you want to manifest in this world. Pay attention because it's really important to understand your intent, because you must always have in mind to create a beautiful life for yourself, but without violating the life of others. Karma will get you if it's not in accordance with the divine selection. So don't ask for things such as, I want to be with that person. No, ask for divine selection to bring you the perfect mate. If you want a house, ask for divine selection to bring to you the perfect home. Okay? Ask for abundance or multiple streams of income. But don't ask things such as, I want my aunt to die and to get her money. No. Karma will slap you in the face so bad. So, write down your desire. Every class of success will tell you to write down your desire. Create a clear text, such as, let's take the example of the home. I want an apartment with 1 living room, 1 kitchen, and so on. Or I want this amount of money. Okay, but be reasonable, because if you don't believe that you can get millions and millions of dollars, that will not manifest for you. So put a reasonable amount of money. Okay? Good. Also, by writing down your desire, you just created the first physical form. Lesson number 4. Create a relationship with the infinite intelligence. Like I said in the beginning, there is a creator. You can call him whatever you like. I say it's infinite intelligence, but we have this God within us, which is the intuition. Many people, including myself, don't walk always on the path of intuition because we think we know better. And now, because I'm working on it and try day by day to walk on the path of faith and complete trust, I started to hear this voice more and more. In order to create a relationship with your Holy Spirit, you must actually spend time in silence with it, to speak to it as you would with a person. Have a sacred space for prayer. It doesn't mean to, sacrifice a room from your house. No, it can be a little corner or a place in a park. It doesn't matter. It must be a place where you feel safe. At first, when I started to do my daily spiritual routine, I only heard the intuition in random moments. Now, because I am more in tune with myself, I am able to hear it more frequently and more clearly, and to actually be able to identify that voice. There is no recipe for this. Just you have to stay quiet. Okay? To stay quiet. And I usually start my conversations with my intuition, with gratitude for the things that I have. Then I ask questions such as, what do you have? What do you want me to do in this particular situation? Or do you have anything to say to me? And usually, for example, if the intuition tells me to do something, I immediately do it. Okay? So that's the key. Now, this voice is associated with the feeling of love. When you do these conversations, you will almost feel like crying because of the intensity. You can search on the internet guided meditation for meeting your higher self. And if you really go deep in the meditation, you will see that you will feel like your heart is filled with so much affection that you start to cry. This voice will never tell you to do wrong onto other people, to curse or any of that. If you hear those things, that is not the Holy Spirit. What you can do on a practical level is to practice automatic writing. Open a Word document or a notebook and type a question. And without engaging in the question, just write down whatever comes to mind. At first, you'll see that the phrases will not make sense. But as you continue to write, you will observe that you will start to write certain phrases that are usually pretty insightful and useful, and you cannot pinpoint their identity. Also, another thing that you can do is to pay attention to your feelings and to write them down. You must understand one thing. Your intuition will always warn you if something is wrong or good, and it will do that in feelings and pictures. When you feel confused, that's not because of your intuition. That is your ego speaking to you. Now, this can be very easily spotted. Everyone in this world lied in their life. Well, what I've observed is this, that when I'm about to tell a lie, I have this weird feeling in my tummy. And because now I practice day by day awareness, I notice that immediately and I snap myself and I change immediately the lie that I'm about to say with truth. And this often happens to me when I go to buy my groceries. In the supermarket, there are girls who try to tell you about different promotions and to try to sell you different products. And I usually want to respond to them, oh no, I already have the product or something like that, is really good, and something just to avoid their attempt to convince me. But now, instead of doing that, I respond like this: thank you for the offer, but I am not interested. So I tell them the truth. And by doing that, I notice that I feel good again. Also, another thing that I used to do in the past, when my friends called me to go out in town, for example, when I didn't felt like going, I invented these weird excuses. So practically I lied to them. And as soon as I wanted to respond with this terrible excuse, I felt the warning in my body. So the essential element here is to spot it and to correct yourself right away. Now I don't invent excuses anymore, and I just say that I am thankful for the invitation, but I don't feel like going out today. If my friends understand, okay. If not, it's okay. Now, the intuition will always warn you before you do something. So pay attention and write these things down, because in this way you will not tend anymore to bypass these situations. Lesson 5. Use the power of imagination on a daily basis. Imagination is the most powerful tool that you have at your disposal. And keep in mind one thing: you must embody the thing that you desire. Okay, so let's take the example with the home. Before going to sleep, I recommend, if you want a home, to close your eyes and imagine how you get out of work and you enter in your dream house, how you open the door, how you see the small hallway, how to the right you have the entrance to the living room, how to the left you have the entrance to the bedroom and the bathroom, how in front is the beautiful kitchen, how you enter in the living room, how you look at the windows and at the beautiful furniture, how you sit on your sofa and you touch the soft material of the sofa, and so forth. In the imagination, you construct the place that you want or the desire. So if you have a problem with constructing that image, try to find pictures that resemble your desire and then place them together and try to imagine the home that you want, having as a foundation the pictures taken from your magazines. Okay? Now, when you are done with the whole image, if you do this before going to sleep, imagine yourself how you actually sit in the bed in your dream house. Feel how nice it is to be there. So you construct the pictures, the image of the dream, and you feel how you are actually in that place, in that imagination plane. Okay, and day by day, play with this until you really feel that home real. Now, after you managed to feel that home real, you must stop the visualization process and try to forget. Okay, so you must become detached, and only when you become detached, you'll see that things will start to move faster in the material plane. Okay, if you practiced meditation and daily awareness, you'll see that the mind's activity will die slowly, and that will enable you to forget easily. But this is a daily practice. Okay? Another thing that I want to point here is to stop having sex like a fool. People have sex with random persons. Now, better off if you don't have someone that you really love, don't give your body to random people. Now, as you use sex to actually have a baby, you can use this to manifest into reality your desire. All things in this world are an idea in the beginning. Now, maybe you have heard about sex magic. And I hope we are all adults here. But if not, well, you need to be educated. Now, from now on, try to pay attention to what is actually happening with yourself when you have an orgasm. People, when they have an orgasm, they usually say, ah. Okay? Also, when babies are brought in the physical, they usually say the ah sound, which is the first sound of creation. Number 1 is associated with letter A, which is creation. So, when you have an orgasm, in that second, when it happens, you can actually observe that you are put for about a second in a black space. It's short, but can be observed. This is the most pure canvas, and the sex energy is the most powerful thing that you can use to create. Now, in regards to do this, you don't need any tools. Okay? So you don't need any tools. Now, in order to do this properly, is very important to have that desire constructed in your imagination perfectly. That's why I stressed in the beginning of this lesson to construct that house, to play with the visualization until you can actually feel yourself in the possession of the house. Why? Because when you have an orgasm, you have a small amount of time to actually recall the image of your desire in your mind. And you cannot say to your loved one, look baby, I'm trying to manifest here a thing, wait a bit to construct an image. What the actual fuck? No, you recall that image when the big moment rises. And that's it. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to perform any ritual. No, you just have to recall that image in that particular moment. So there is your sex education for today. Thank me later. And believe me, this class will be incomplete without it. Now, another thing that I want you to understand is that you receive what you prepare for. So it's time for cleaning. Clean your body and pay attention to what you drink and eat. If you eat poorly, if you drink alcohol, okay, you cannot create a good relationship to your higher self because you show you don't deserve what you have. Also, clean your house and create space for the new things that you want. If you want a new home, start to buy boxes as if you are preparing to move. Lesson 6. Be aware of fear. We know that everything is dual in nature. Every force that is out there has its counterpart, and these forces neutralize each other. Let me share with you an example on how these forces, love and fear, neutralize each other. I was very sad in one day because I was announced that we will have to come to work in the weekend. When I heard that, I said to myself, well, let's try to change that. The problem was that instead of going in the divine flow, what I was doing instead was to constantly worry that I will not have my weekend free. On Friday, a small portion of the manifestation rised, and our manager announced that is a great chance to not come to work in that particular weekend. And I was so happy. But I came back to worry, and as the day passed, I started to become more and more agitated. And the situation drastically changed just before our work schedule was about to end, and I was announced that I have to come to work with my team in the weekend. So, fear, worry are the destroyers, okay? Love is the creator, and miracles happen in love. The law of karma is perfect because everything that you do, think, and speak will come back to you with accuracy. You just have to pay attention. What you give your focus and energy, that will grow. It's just one force that can be used for good or bad. It doesn't matter. So I learned my lesson in that day. that I must not resist change. Whenever you worry or fear something, or you have an unpleasant feeling inside you, it's a clear sign that you are not in the flow. Plant seeds in yourself first. Affirmations are great and have a great impact on yourself, but only when you embody them. Remember what I've said in the beginning: words create a state of being. Anthony Robbins spoke of incantations and how he screams affirmations of success to feel them deeply in his being. And you can do that too. The problem with affirmations, in my opinion, is that you must twist them and to make them ignite you. Because let's take, for example, this affirmation: I am a millionaire. This affirmation right here doesn't trigger anything in me. So I twist it and I say something like this: I have on my side the supreme power of the Infinite One, and avalanches of abundance come my way in perfect time and perfect ways. I believe that every single person should start their day with a powerful affirmation, but those that really ignite the fire within you. Also, another thing that you should consider doing is to always invest in classes or things that add value to you. If you want to build up a shop, for example, well, you should start to invest time in increasing your sales skills, marketing, product quality, and so forth. Lesson 8. Pay attention to the divine signs. Okay, so now we are almost to the end, but we must speak also about the signs that will appear when you try to manifest a thing. The first and the most important thing is to practice every second of your life awareness, to be present at all times in the now moment, in the present moment, to not think of the past or the future. Yes, in the visualization process, the visualization exercise, you move in another place, a place of creation. But after you've done with the exercise, you must engage in your daily endeavors and to be fully present. After you make the first steps in order to manifest your desire, this creator of ours likes to send you a message in a way, shape, or form. That's why it's very important to not get distracted from the present moment, because you may miss those messages. Before you actually get your desire fulfilled, you will get a part of that which you desire, like a small gift. So pay attention, please. You will get a sign to assure you that the desire is on its way from the spirit plane to the material plane. So let me share with you an example. So I was visualizing the fact that I want to go to the beach, but in my town where I live, I don't have a beach. And day by day at my lunch break, I had this picture in my mind of what I wanted to manifest. And attached to that picture, I tried to listen to beach waves sounds from YouTube. And also, by doing this visualization exercise, what I did as I was sitting with my eyes closed, I was rubbing in my hands salt, and I imagined that I was playing in the sand. Now, after just 2 weeks of doing that, One day I paid a visit to my future mother-in-law, and she gave me as a gift a ring with a starfish on it. And I gave that ring a long look. And my future mother-in-law panicked a little, and she asked me, "You don't like it?" I was delighted by the gift, but at the same time I was stunned because that was my sign that my visualization will actually manifest. So when I saw the sign, I was sure that will manifest. Because you see, people will tell you, believe, believe, believe. Yes, believe. But you must know how to recognize the signs of the manifestation. And it's hard the first time. The first time that you want to manifest something will be hard for you because you tend to worry. And like I said in the previous lesson, fear and love neutralize each other. Okay? But as you will acknowledge the signs, you will start to actually destroy fear. Put that aside. Okay, so like I've said, my first sign was that ring with the starfish on it. Then, in that week, I started to feel sick at work, and I took my day off, and because of my sickness, I forgot to continue to visualize. So pay attention. You visualize, you create that perfect picture, then you forget. Now, at the end of the day, my boyfriend got home from work, and he told me that the company for which we work, because of some anniversary, will take us for free to the beach. I was delighted. Believe me, friend, when you actually start for the first time to understand that you can build up whatever you want, and even if obstacles may come your way, you are the authority. This starts to become the most beautiful thing, this life. And you will be like a child jumping around, making all people around happy. And to actually become easy for you to manifest, you must be in a playful state of mind every time. That's why, for example, in the morning I jump in my bed, and my boyfriend tells me often, "Oh, you act like a child." And that's a sign for me when he says that I am actually in the flow. And also, I watch only things that make me laugh. This doesn't mean to ignore the problems, no, but you must raise your vibration at any given moment. You must understand that before you actually get the desire fulfilled, there is something of that desire, a small part, that will come your way. A text in a book, a message, a song. There is something. Pay attention. Become present in the now. Avoid distractions and focus in order to be able to see these signs, because they appear. Also, another thing, okay, that you may see during the manifestation process is the number 1 and the number 1111 or 111 or 222 sequences of numbers, you must understand that the number 1 is associated with the letter A, which is the sound of creation. So that's your sign also, that your desire is on its way. Okay, so we are at the end of our class, and I just wanted to say this. Maybe at the end of this video you will be very inspired and motivated. You must understand one thing. You must take small steps. So my advice will be this: don't do anything crazy, and don't start to actually bring in your life dramatic changes. No, I want you to listen again to this video, to take notes, and to actually start for each class to dedicate just one minute per lesson. Nothing more, nothing less. Because if you start right away drastically, you will see that you will quit very soon, in a matter of days. And if you dedicate, for example, for lesson 1 or for the visualization process, just 1 minute of your day, it's a small amount of time, but you can actually do that. And try for a week to dedicate just 1 minute for lesson 1, 1 minute for lesson 2. So at the end of the day, you have just 8 minutes dedicated for this particular class. You must understand a thing. I worked as a manager for almost, I think, 2.5 years. And because of the nature of my job, if I want to implement a habit for myself, I can do it in a day. But I work with different personalities, and I understand that they are not able to do that because they have their habits, they have their belief systems, and so forth. And because of that, if you don't have a really strong determination, if you don't have a really powerful and quick way of taking decisions, you must take small steps. That's the best way in order to actually implement a habit. Okay, so just take small bites, then increase every day the level to not get bored. So for example, start today with meditation, but only do it for 1 minute. Then you increase it. Start today to, for example, speak positive affirmations. For 1 minute, say positive affirmations. That's it. Okay? Good. I really hope that you try this, and I really desire that you come back and you tell me that you are actually walking on your divine path. So I wish you a wonderful day, friend, and peace and love.